we're basically, I'm coming fresh out of a war where we were down 5. So we have a lot of moments where we had to play very positionally. So we're actually going to go through. There are a few key points in my VOD that I want to hit. That are going to cover some very important points, stuff we covered last week, and some stuff that we're going to segue into this week as well in the VOD. This week, we're going to be getting a little bit into actual fort side play, which is going to be super dope. We're going to get into some more point control, working around agency and establishing that agency. Super, super, super fucking important. And then we'll get into touching again on properly disengaging fights, whether you're in fort or outside of fort. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about playing your role. And that doesn't just mean as a lead bruiser. We're talking about it's down to it. It's crunch time, points 50%, but we're getting collapsed on. You don't know what the fuck to do. This is going to be where you need your instinct to take over, and your instinct needs to be in the right place. So, without further ado, I'm fucking stupid. Without further ado, I'm trying to do too many things at once. I'm going to share my screen here for those that are watching in Discord, if I can figure this shit out. There. And then we go here. So smart. Boom. All right. Can we see that? Now stream, I do this, and then I do this. Whoa, that was the wrong one. That. All right. Can everybody see this shit?
It's looking clean.
Beautiful. All right. So the first thing that we're going to look at very early on in the war, we're just over a minute in, and we're scrapping on B point right now. I've just come off of a death where I was basically, as you can see, we get a good wipe here. And what I should have done was played these pots and looked to back out with my group. And I got too aggressive. I turned back into the clump there, and as a result, I just got hit in the back with just about everything, and I was too far out. So that's a stupid death where I should have just declumped. We have a ton of agency back here. And the way that I'm like identifying where our agency is, it's as simple as our most aggressive positioning at this point, where we have complete blue control and sacreds and safety. So I basically got too overextended here. The second that I was right here, I'm dead. Like, there's really nothing that Voil is going to do to keep me up through that. So being aware of that stuff, especially off of the early fights, really important. Like, I essentially pushed in that fight. I'll just let it play through. We're going to start Oppo and we don't have much resistance early on. So we're going to go through, and we're basically going to try to get an aggressive push here. So we get a really aggressive push. We're starting to clump them, and we get a great grab there and a great dump here. So that's perfect. At this point, we've already got agency on point. What I'm looking at now, I see my group here, top right. I see Leaf, that's going to be my second bruiser. I know that my Grav is on cooldown, so I'm going to immediately look to group up and play off of Leaf, because there's a higher chance that he has his cooldowns than I do. So I'm keeping Leaf in my vision, but I'm also playing this clump right now, getting everything back up. Leaf is over there solo. Should be over here at this point. But I get too far at this point. With Leaf being over there, I should have recognized that, and I should have played no further than the top arc of point. So like, that's on me as lead bruiser to really wrangle people in. As a result, I got too far out, I died. As I'm coming through, we talked last week about proper rotations, and that's a huge part. What we're going to see here is not only forcing the team into a proper rotation, but one of the responsibilities that you have as a lead bruiser or any sort of group lead is you need to wrangle your fucking group sometimes. If you're trying to calm and people aren't listening, as a lead, you calm over them until they listen. So what we're going to hear is basically I look for a rotate. The first thing that we're going to do is identify where my group is. So that's going to be our regroup point, our point of agency. We're going to look for agency as we're going over. So as we're looking, I'm seeing that my team is bottom right side point. I'm seeing that we have pretty solid agency, bottom right side. I'm seeing that left looks pretty scrappy and their road looks scrappy. At this point, B is flipped. So we're going to be looking to transition C side. A is good. So we're already going to be late to the party here. As you can see, their road is starting to empty out in the backside. So what I'm looking for is us to have an aggressive position. So I'm trying to snake my group and meet up on the Rampart Rocks side. So like I mentioned last week, the two best spots to rotate are either going to be rocks or our backside with our like our healers in our backline, because that's where you're going to be most protected. But I identified that there's going to be a disconnect in my group's rotate. Everyone was super excited to get over here. Like, it was a 45v50 war, so we're just trying to like pump and pop off. And so we're super excited. But even if you're super excited to get there, you need to make sure that everything is going properly. So I'm going to try to get through here, and I'm seeing Skibby just kind of taking off here. So I'm like, all right, cool. Skibby runs a little post route. He hooks here. We kill this, and then we rotate for free. And then I notice Skibby's just going to kind of wall and keep running, and then I get gone on. So I'll actually turn this up. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the Discord when it's playing or not, but...
Bro, can we play?
I need you guys on me. I need you guys on me. Skibby, turn.
I'm trying to get to you right now. I got people on.
I'm behind you, Skibby. I'm behind you, Skibby.
I'm next to you, Skibby.
Top of point.
So basically, I get gone on, and at this point, we have Leaf like way over here already rotating ahead because he got off point early. We've got Skibby right in front of me. So I recognize, like, if these guys really want to chase me here, I'm probably fucking dead. So Skibby's trying to call something out. I'm literally yelling over him that we need to regroup on me before we go into this point. So as a result of that, we get regrouped.
Behind you, Skibby.
Right here. I charge, and now it's less than ideal that I had to burn my charge here. But at the same time, it's great because we grouped up. Leaf is a little bit far ahead. So at this point, I've got my hammer out with the mentality that I'm going to follow up. Sorry, that was a burp. I'm going to follow up on whatever Leaf is doing, whether it's a grab, whether it's a shock. He is now my lead bruiser because he's got the most aggressive positioning.
Yep, I'm seeing it. I just need you with.
And then I run into a wall. Don't run into walls that aren't yours. Biggest advice. Anyways, what we're going to do now is identify where our clump is forming. So as we're going into this fight, and a lot of this is going to be bruiser perspective for now, but we're going to talk about how this like implication affects the rest of the group as well. As the lead bruiser, I'm now identifying my clump. Leaf's job is now done as the lead bruiser. He's shifted to a position behind me. He's now got his hammer out. We're playing off of my combo. I'm initiating now. Very important to pick up on as a bruiser combo is that synergy of it's my time to lead, it's my time to support. Leaf did a great job there of dropping from a super aggressive spot to a spot where he could follow up on what I've got. So we're going to call out debts now, and we're going to look.
We're going to look to spike point.
So as I just said in the VOD, we're looking to spike. So looking to spike is letting your team know that you're going to be saving your cooldowns and you're going to be dumping on a huge clump. So I say that at
We're going to look to spike point.
236. I pop my pre-pots before I go in, and I'm getting stacks up for my grav. So I'm going to go in.
Look to spike point.
I'm going to get a couple stacks up. Big grav, 240, 4 seconds ahead of time. It does not need to be a long time. I told you guys this last week. A few seconds of communication ahead of time is going to be better than no communication ahead of time. So 4 seconds is enough time for Milo to get in a perfect position. Skibby is over here in a wonderful position. Voil knows that I'm about to send my fucking life into here as a healer. And then we've got Leaf in the middle of this, ready to shockwave this huge clump that's building. I call out my det. Skibby's to the left. As soon as Grav goes down, Skibby, as the blunderbuss, is going to be nading the Grav. This is going to get anti-heals out. This is going to get great pop. He's going to be shooting everything he has into that. Best to time up your bruisers, like Grav detonate. Not detonate, but like the ending of the Grav, the detonation of the Grav itself. If you can time up your burst with that, it's always going to be a kill. Milo, in an absolutely perfect position. This Oblivion is ours. So I've got Empower, I've got Stam regen, my healer's also LE, so I've got the Stam regen off of that. So I basically know at this point that I'm set. We've also got the Sacred ready to go here, so I can go into this fight pretty full confidence.
This.
Shockwave.
Let's go. I got you, Dusty.
Beautiful. Charging out, giving you a sec. Thank you. Save the.
So shaping up again full time.
I'll look to spike point.
You guys right now.
Give me this.
I'm detonating it.
Got you dancing.
Detonating this.
Shockwave.
Let's go. I got you, Dusty.
Beautiful. Charging out, giving you a sec. Thank
Now what that allowed with Leaf and my team being in such a good position is I actually was able to put out a shitload more damage with that deck combo because I didn't have to burn my shockwave. Now I'm also ready to follow up on Leaf's next combo because I knew that his shockwave was going to be there. I knew that his hammer was going to be there. So basically we blow that clump up and now we're going to be looking to screen respawns. So we know that there's a respawn wave coming in. We are the aggressive team on their side of road.
big respawn wave. Collapse to point. Collapse to point.
Declumping to agency. What I mentioned last week. Something as simple as
Give me this.
I'm detonating it.
we're going to get a big
Detonating
wipe,
this.
and this is
Shockwave,
10
shockwave.
seconds.
I got you, Dusty.
All of these decisions.
Charging out, giving you a sec.
We go to get an
Thank you.
aggressive spot.
Save the sacred. Save the sacred.
I look, and I say, oh, that's a lot of red.
Shocking
And we
top
just
right.
wiped a bunch. I look, I see
Lot of
people
damage
coming
on
down
me.
from mid. So as a lead bruiser, you always need to be looking for more information. We've got great agency here, right? It would be so easy to say that this road is safe. If I'm looking right in front of me, I see Dekron about to get bopped. I see these two about to get bopped. I see this guy doing whatever he's doing over here. Milo's fucking him up. But then, even if we wipe this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on my screen. Not counting what's over to the left, not counting what else is coming in for rotates. We've got an 11th right here. We've got a lot of bows in there as well. That's a lot of pop potential. That's a lot of turn potential. Also, it's early in the war, so it doesn't really matter as much, but respawns just happened. If you die directly after a respawn wave, you're caught in a full respawn. Less than ideal. So, the move that we are going to make is declumping to our point of
A lot
agency.
of damage on me.
While I'm looking, I see we have a nice curve of blue on the top side of point here. This is a perfect spot to establish and fight. Right on that outer edge of point in an aggressive spot, because it allows you to declump and go back into the point and into your backline without losing all of your point progression. If we are stacked across the mid side of point and they hit us hard with a respawn wave, we then get pushed off of point instead of onto the middle of point. Does that make sense for everyone? Beautiful, beautiful. So, simple move,
Big
We go
respawn
back
wave.
to-
Collapse to point. Collapse to point.
the middle of point. Right now, look how many healers I'm surrounded by. There is zero fucking chance, unless God himself smites me, that I die in this position. I am surrounded by Promi, whoever the fuck that is, this guy, a shitload of healers, and I've got eyes on what their kill squad is looking to do. So in this time, I've effectively scouted out where their main clump is going, where their kill squad is going, and where our backline has established. And I'm maintaining point presence in tick, which is forcing the defending army to extend.
Got you. Man.
We're going to clear out point here and force our backline to be able
Clearing
to
point
free
right now.
cast.
I got a great
Point
point
right now.
Hold on, give me a second.
And then
Two flag
while
if you
I'm
need to.
clearing point, we're establishing agency. I'm looking where
Top
this
left,
is forming
top
up.
left, top left.
Oh, top left. Sorry.
Defense.
The reason I called top left, Skibby calls top right. I called
Yeah, I
him
got a
off
great
and
point.
said top left. The reason for that, top right, if we look right now, it's further out. The momentum of top right, if they're already further out, if they're running back, that means we have to overextend. If they're running in, that means we don't have the momentum to take the fight with them right now.
Hold on, give me a second.
I look
Two
top
flag
left,
If you need to.
and what we've got here is blue pushing out. And then I want you to watch and see the momentum of the clump itself. Not each individual person, but every red body as a whole, the direction that they're heading on top left.
Flag right now.
Top left, top left, top left.
Everybody is facing away from point. Everybody is trying to get back. Everybody is getting off of point. One thing I mentioned last week that I will reiterate every time I do this. If you run away from a fight with your back turned, the only scenario is that people do damage to you and you do no damage to them. That's it. I recognize that every single red on that point has their back turned, except I'm her bruiser who died like 42 times because they were just padding. And other than that, back turned, and casting a wall or storm or some shit. I don't know how IGs work. Back turned. Fucking frolicking. That guy looks beautiful as fuck. Back turned. Some random bow. Back turned. This is a free fight.
Top left, sorry.
Defensive shock, defensive shock. My grab.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm playing.
Easy wipe. We take barely any damage, and now my grab is almost charged, all because we identified which side of the point was easiest to hit. This is, again, the perspective of more of like a flex group. Excuse me, I have hiccups now. But the same thing applies. Like, even if you're bottom right, you need to be looking which part of bottom right has the momentum. If you're front right, you need to be looking for that aggressive momentum. It all goes hand in hand. So here, we capture point. Simple, always good to touch base on when you cap a point. Please rebuy, check your consumes. If I go into this gate fight with 1 cleanse pot, then I'm fucked. Also, one thing to point out, we are 3 minutes into war, and I have used 5 cleanse pots. The only reason I didn't use 6 was because C was free. So basically, we rebuy, we're gonna push gates. When we're pushing gates, this is a slaughter. Like, this is free kills. If you die in this phase, you are throwing, you are stupid, and you're overextending. You never want to be in between the gate and the enemy pushing back, because that's going to be a huge clump and dump. What you want to do is funnel in from the sides and herd them into the middle. The worst case scenario is the enemy goes inside the fort where they're going to respawn anyways, and then we don't have to fight them and we get a free gate down. Like, oh no, you do a little less damage. Go fuck yourself. I don't care about your damage. I care about winning a fucking war finally. So we're going to funnel in from the sides here. We're going to force them to not cover these corners, which is where bows and kill squad and healers love to sit. We call this nipple, the little parts that poke out like little nippies. Getting horns down there, if you're ranged, extremely important as early as you can. As early as you can. But we're going to clear nipple to corner to door,
For you guys right now.
while hurting everybody.
Saving my gate for 1 gate collapse, or saving my depth for 1 gate collapse. I'm not gonna have a pre-pot for a few.
And then we recognize somebody's in corner.
I'm letting.
We clear
Let
corner.
the cannon fodder go in. Let the cannon fodder go.
They want to all in.
Yeah, they just all in, dude. Just overpower them. We don't need to go.
So-
off. We can just fucking win this.
There are 2 options when gate goes down. This is where it's important to listen to your main comms. You either all in and you try to just brute force through the gate the first time, or you just break off and go to your gates. I love all-ins. I fucking love it. It gives me an excuse to just YOLO play. But coordinating that is big. If I were to just wait for the gate to go down and go in, which I've done in a couple wars because I get very excited, then I die. This gate
Let
goes
the
down,
cannon
and there's
fodder go in. Let the
dead ass
cannon fodder
30
go in.
people in front of me.
They want to all in.
So what
Yeah,
we're gonna
they just
do
all in, dude.
is
Just
wait for the
overpower.
initiate. We're gonna wait for the flow of the clump, like I talked about earlier, that momentum. So as I see, we've got a big wave of this blue. They're gonna soak a ton of cooldowns. I'm looking to make a huge play with my debt here. I'm telling my group that we're waiting for them to go in. I'm calling this cannon fodder because it is. Anyways,
For them.
we wait
don't
for
need
them to
go
go
off.
in.
We can just fucking win
we
this.
wait for pre-pot.
Man, I want to have a war.
We're gonna pop our pre-pots.
Just farm it, please.
I don't know.
We're gonna see a grab,
I'm detonating this.
Yeah, not going in.
and we're gonna go.
Anything for you.
And then we're gonna get pushed back.
I'm
I
out.
grabbed.
I'm out.
I used Dusty.
Biggest thing as a lead bruiser is to know when you need to get the fuck out. Very important. After this, we break off B. As we're breaking off B, guess who? Died fucking 15 times because they were just trying to pad.
Shocking.
Pathing back.
Get this guy on the ramparts. Kill this fire staff guy. He's
Where at?
just on the ramparts up here.
So we recognize here, we have easy kills. Their kill squad's pinched. So as that rotation team,
Sorry,
we're just gonna clean that up.
Yep, not yet.
We're heading over to B.
Overextend and burn their coolies. Wait for mine, and then we'll double det.
When your gate goes down, especially if it's not the first gate down, it is very likely that you're going to get dropped on from ramparts, or you're going to get pushed out on from the middle gate, especially the middle gate. So what I tell my team here, we're going to be waiting for their cooldowns. We're going to be waiting for them to push out, and then we're going to do what I call counter initiate. They're going to throw their grabs. I'm going to wait with a shockwave. If they don't come in on their grabs, I don't take damage. If they come in on their grabs, I just shockwave everybody that comes in, and then we don't take damage. And then I counter grab them when they're stunned. It's a very easy way to completely kill their momentum B gate and get a nice
Wait for
turn out
pre-pots
of
here.
it.
Don't be too aggro. Don't be too aggro. Yep. Not yet.
So right now, we're
Wait
identifying
for
that
them
they're
to
being
overextend and
aggro
burn
as
their
shit.
coolies. We don't need to be aggressive here. I'm gonna just play smart
Go
and get
in
stacks.
And what we're looking for as we get to this phase is that
everything
momentum.
We're gonna wait
And
for,
as I was
we're gonna
saying,
wait.
I'm her bruiser. If we're ever on defense and you do this and you're the only person out here, I'm literally making Birdman bench you. Stammed, no team anywhere past the gate into literally 15 people. They did 1.4 million damage or some shit, but 0 of it actually mattered. They would have been better off with somebody B-gate that did 300k damage, but sat back here and actually played with the team. Because that 1.4 million damage all got healed off. All of it. They did nothing. I will reiterate. This does nothing. It is a throw. It should be an automatic bench. Overextends, lose wars. I don't know if y'all remember, probably like a month back or so. It was a big Cactus defense when the mergers were happening. And Cactus was literally, or not Cactus, F-Baller. Pre-Cactus, sorry. F-Baller was holding the fuck out of their fort, right? Left side gate overextends a little bit. And I was just watching this war, like just chilling on stream watching it. And I see left side start to push out too much. And as soon as they cross the barrier of the gate, I said, this is bad for F-Baller. Left side gate gets wiped. They get pushed in through there because they got caught by a respawn wave, and then the war ends. Literally off of that one push. Shit like this is very dumb as a solo person unless your warcaller is telling you to push past gates on defense. You don't fucking push past gates. I don't care if it looks free.
Wait for like the bots to go in, and then we'll play off of that.
Like, look at that. Just
Okay, get
dead.
ready. Get ready.
Great cooldowns. Great cooldowns. Great push.
Get in here,
Great
get in.
pre-pots. Great everything.
Big grav. Let's do it.
Give me this, give me this, give me this. Oblivion,
Grab
Oblivion,
that shot
Oblivion.
combo.
Easy.
We
We're
wipe
in.
the gate.
Get in and right. In and right. In.
Right now, off of that combo, I'm recognizing this is going to be a fat combo already. My next look, like you always as a lead need to be thinking of your next move. Grab shock mail on a detonate is fucking automatic. I don't need to look at the screen to grab shock mail where my detonate goes. What I'm looking at is where this is going to open up. If anybody played football, you're looking for like your lane as a running back or as a receiver. If you played soccer, same shit. Like any sport, you're basically looking for your opening. So what I'm looking at here, we're going to force this fight to the middle. I'm on the right side. So I'm naturally, when I throw my grav, going to clump people off of this right side into the middle to support that and create a funnel.
Big grav.
So when
Let's
I do that,
Give me-
look at what opens up. This entire lane into the right. Sometimes it'll open to the left, typically if you initiate from the left, because people go away from the initiate into the clump. So I initiate from the right. We're going to dump on the clump. I've got my deck queued up. I've dodge swapped onto my shockwave. And I identify that this is going to be our easy in.
Give me this, give me this, give me this. Oblivion, Oblivion on that, Oblivion on that.
Easy. We're in. Get in and right. In and right. In and right. In and right. On point. On point. On point. We control right side of point. Right midpoint. Right midpoint. Right midpoint.
So at this
You guys
point,
get the fuck on me. Everybody on me.
I'm on you.
Fort
Alina Torn healer. Alina.
is going to vary for every single person. And this is one of the main things that I want to talk about with playing your role. I mentioned that this was going to be one of the big fucking things that we went over because it is arguably the most important thing, in my opinion, in all of war. I don't give a shit if you are the single best bruiser. You can beat anybody in the game 25-0 in duels. You put up 3 million damage. You cannot 1v50 a war. You cannot do somebody else's job in a war because you cannot simultaneously do your job and somebody else's. So, if your role is to control stage and respawns, and you are not doing that, even if it looks like stage and respawns are under control and you sneak off, you miss one assignment, one respawn wave, that kills our entire fort agency. Every single part of that we work towards. So if you are assigned a role, sure, outside of point, float around a little bit, go to clumps a little bit, get some, have some fun, like outside of fort. As soon as we are on fort, you lock the fuck in. Positionally, you play perfect with your group. You play your role perfectly. You don't fucking deviate from that. If you are told that your first in is going to be destroying shops, you do not fight people. You're not looking to clump and dump. You are looking to get up and to break their shops. killing people is awesome because you kill people and they die and you do more damage, right? Higher on the leaderboard. That's awesome. But think about how much easier it is to kill people when they don't have cleansing pots for the last 22 minutes of the war, because everybody realizes that we're not going to win any competitive war in the first 8 minutes, nor will we establish fort agency because of the frequency of respawns. So our best bet is to cause absolute maximum damage to the actual like infrastructure of the fort. Stop them from repairing as much as we can. Stop them from buying pre-pots as much as we can. Like those cleanses, hastes for dive to get around on shit. Kegs, if you're skibby, I'm pretty sure he got a keg kill in fort. Like, stuff like that is extremely important. But the war before this, my group actually, like, we were trying to get in and up on a side gate, sorry, hiccups. And we noticed that, like, shops were still up. And this was probably 15, 16 minutes in. And we literally just dedicated our next, like, time inside fort to wiping as many shops as we could. We literally said, like, we're not going to fight unless we get pushed. We're just going to get in. We're going to break everything that we can. I worked.
I have no charge. I have no charge.
So off of this,
I'm on you.
Alina Torrent healer. Alina Torrent healer. Finish that.
We identify our target. We're going to identify what we need to control. We were trying to establish control through right side, and if it was necessary, we were crashing side gate. If it wasn't necessary, we were going to control hell and bottom of stairs and screen respawns. So just some perspective of what to look for.
Finish that. Going to hell. Big collapse for help. Big collapse for help. Big collapse for help.
Give me right. Give me right.
So again, I mentioned grab shock mail should be fucking automatic for you guys. I'm dumping a combo and I'm already announcing that there's going to be a big collapse from hell, so my group knows what to expect when we're already fighting this clump. Extremely big as a lead bruiser.
Right midpoint. You guys get the fuck
and this
on
is
me.
something
Everybody
where
on
it's
me?
very hard to identify. A couple people that helped me with this a lot were actually Bo and Worked, because like coming back from my break, I was atrocious in fort. I was really bad.
Grab mid right.
An example of something that can really like help you as a bruiser. I just initiated a clump. I dumped it. I got good kills. I have another grab up in 1 second. I could easily just roll an insta grab into this part of point, right? And just keep going and just bloodlust and rage in. But what I actually do is I back dodge to a little spot of agency right here where it's safe, and I'm going to pop my regen and I'm going to pop my cleanse. Always put potions up. Always. If they are off cooldown and you're anywhere near people, put them on cooldown. You should go into every war with 100 regens, 100 life pots, and you should have plenty of cleanses. Cleanses will save your fucking life. A cleanse and a regen is literally Kmart stone form. That's all there is to it.
Give me right.
Beautiful. Mid right.
Pre-pots, we're instantly back in.
Grab mid right. Dump it.
Oblivion right.
Beautiful.
IGVGs. Listen to my Milo here. Listen to him calming his screams, calming his oblivions. As soon as I go to dump this, you just hear oblivion, right? It doesn't need to be a fucking story. You don't need to tell me the life of your oblivion as a child and how it had trauma. Just tell me where the fuck the oblivion is. It's beautiful comms. Anybody that's like, I can't calm, I'm so nervy, ooh woo. 2 fucking words. 2 words, and he sounded adorable doing it.
Beautiful. Mid right. Grab mid right. Dump it.
Oblivion right.
Beautiful. Playing on this oblivion.
I'm out.
I have no charge.
Telling my healer I do not have charge, so he knows that I'm gonna need more heals.
Low. Pots cooldown.
Telling my healer that I have no pots.
I just dropped.
I ate a detonate there because I suck at the game. But
10 second re.
telling your healers, especially as lead bruisers, you have no charge, you have no way to get out. You have no pots, you're gonna need to focus on healing. They know that. Your team also knows if you have no pots, they're not getting fucking healed.
Respawns now, don't die.
I don't know where you're at, Danson. You gotta give me a little bit more comms on that.
So one thing Voyle says here.
No die. No die.
Leaf gets a little split, and Voyle is trying to find him. Voyle is our healer, for those that are not familiar. Voil's actually going to drop right after respawn.
Respawns now, don't die.
I don't know where you're at, Danson. You gotta give me a little bit more comms on that.
Voyle says, I don't know where you're at, you got to give me more comms. Nobody should ever stop saying where they are, especially if they're split. Like, if you're fighting and you're not immediately with your team, you need to recognize that you're by yourself, that you're taking a fight at a disadvantage, and you need to get with your team ASAP. But if you can't do that, you need to calm. If you don't know where your team is, you need to calm. If you continue to fight solo, like you just kind of exclude yourself from the team and die.
All right, we're gonna have to collapse B to get us in.
So very simple. Half my team's inside. I'm outside. I figure out where my team is. I tell them what our next move is. We're collapsing B, and then we're going to
I am ready with that. I am
get
ready with
into
that.
the left if we can. So I'm gonna look. My initiate is easy. I'm trying to find my team over to the left here, and I'm also gonna scout out like what I've got. I've got all of my pre-pots as well as my gemstone dust on. If you're using oak flesh, by the way, stop please. Do me a personal favor. Just use gemstone. If you're dying to a bruiser, over half your damage that you're taking is going to be elemental because of grav. If you're dying to anything that's not physical, then you're going to be taking elemental damage. And if you're getting bursted, it's going to be a bruiser plus elemental damage. So like, I don't know. I very rarely get 100 to 0 bursted by pure physical damage. I don't know if it's actually ever happened. So just food for thought. If you're using oak flesh, consider gemstone. Will probably help you a lot.
I'm feathering this guy.
I'm detonating bottom side of B point.
I'm getting there. Oblivion on you, Dusty.
Bruisers, safety detonate. You've seen me take a lot of big debts, a lot of straight great axe debts, a lot of grab shot mail debts. This is what I referred to last week as the safety debt. I did this primarily because I wasn't quite sure where my dump would be from my team, where my heals would be. I wanted to keep myself safe, but I knew I still needed to take this fight to try to get B gate in and establish agency. So what you're going to see me do is
I am ready with that.
hammer out.
Sorry. I'm feathering this guy.
I'm detonating bottom.
Heavy attack for my empower. Empower is on screen there. We dodge for shirking frost. We mute the video. I run a shirking hammer. I personally love my shirking hammer because I'm always dodging. I also run double opal in my weapons, so my stam should really never be full. But what we've got there is a 35. No, I don't. Is it 35%? Let me check real quick. Character, weapon mastery, warhammer. 20% empower. Sorry, 20% empower. You've got 35% extra damage for a second because I've taken a hit. If my math is correct, that's 55% extra damage. It's a lot of damage on a debt. So as a result, I shockwave this entire clump. I'm going to heal a little bit because of the shockwave. The clump's not going to be able to hit me because they're stunned. They're also going to take more damage because Sundering Shockwave on my hammer. As a result, we have an extremely safe detonate, hitting for about 45, and this is through like all of their mitt, all of their sacred that they're standing on. We didn't catch anybody out by surprise. We full sent it into a fight. I'm full HP without my group being stacked up on me. They're stunned. They just took a huge amount of burst.
I'm getting there. Oblivion on you.
And then I switch instantly into a male to keep them grouped. It's very rare that you'll want a naked male. There are many things I could have done here that were better than a naked male. I could have grabbed. I could have wrecking balled with my hammer. Naked males are very not good. Make fun of me for that if you want to.
Oh my god, they're
Imagine if I had my mail for this clump. Would have been absurd. But instead I'm stupid. Anyways, moving on. After this big clump, what should we do? Declump. We look to recognize that we're going to get rotated on because we just fucked them up. What do I not do?
I don't have LOS on you.
Declump. What do I do as a result? I die because I wanted to stay in and get more damage. If you nuke an entire fucking gate, people are going to rotate. Should have noticed on me. That's entirely my fault.
Yeah, I'm getting.
What the fuck? Yo,
This was the worst spawn in the game. This was bullshit.
I'm playing on top
fighting
of. I'm playing on top of
Oh,
you
what the
right now.
fuck? Yo, I just spawned on that gate.
Move
Pointing
back,
that
move
out.
back, move back.
Happened to me twice.
If you guys need to,
All right, B gate.
big B fight shaping up.
They're stacked as fuck on B. I'm caught out of position here. I don't have my cleanse. I'm gonna get out. My group right now is looking to play off of me.
Okay.
Skibby's letting me know what's happening on the back line because I'm not
Yeah,
looking
scream now.
behind. Skibby tells me that the kill squad is on our back line. I look and I see that we still have enough agency. You can see a little healing staff poking through there. We still have enough agency and presence at the gate. So I notice that my blues are going to start to go in and look to get aggressive. All I have to do here is throw a path. Look at all the damage that this path is doing. 2k, 1800, 1200, And that's not counting like all of the extra shit that goes along with it, your rune glass, like any of that stuff. This is non-empowered. All I did for this path was dodge and path. Huge damage on a lot of people.
Skimmy again.
I've got a debt ready.
Healer comms extremely
I've
huge.
got debt.
Foil comms extremely well for a healer. As soon as Skibby started to get out of position, Foil let him know that he had no LOS on him, line of sight, and that he would not be able to heal him. So Skibby was able to come back. Healers, if you're just trying to pump and you can't heal somebody and you're not saying that and letting them know as soon as they're out of line of sight, like if you can't physically see them on your screen, you need to let them know. Voil did a very good job of that. If you're not a healer, you need to recognize that when you're taking these gate fights, especially if you're looking to breach into fort itself, like as soon as you run out of this straightaway, like the funnel of death, which is what you want to get past, your healer cannot see you unless they're on your hip. So like if you just go in and you see a clump dirt and you're like, oh shit, let me grab this, you're dead. You're dead, and your healer's not going to be able to heal you, and it's not going to be your healer's fault. It's going to be your fault because you're stupid.
I'm gonna just
Everyone
wait for a
does
good
it.
chance
I
and
did
then
it
we're gonna
later in
take
this
it, so
VOD,
be
so.
ready. Yeah, it's shaping up
Telling-
right now. Shaping
telling
up
my
right
team
now. If
that
our
the
team
fight's
goes in, I'm
shaping
gonna
up.
follow this with that once I get
Getting
up.
everybody ready, letting my healer know that I'm going to debt, so I'm going to be squishy as fuck.
We just wait.
Waiting for the fight to
My
shape
next
up.
three
We
pots
see
are
the
coming
blue
up
go
about
in.
5.
Are we dropping? Do we drop?
Right now, I know that the fight's shaping up, so I'm trying to get some stacks up.
Yeah, 100.
Another shockwave into mail. We didn't have the full death there, but even just the damage of that debt alone, and it kept you alive, or kept me alive. That's the biggest thing, is like, if you go in with a debt, and I were to go deeper, and I die, it does nothing. So making sure that we're staying with that clump and fighting off of that clump. If you have your debt, like you can't be the first one in because you're going to take more damage while you're charging up your debt. If you're looking for a debt play, you need to let somebody else go in, take the brunt of it, and then go in after that initial pop with your debts to clear it out. Because otherwise, you're just going to get popped.
Okay, I'm coming back to gate. I'm mid gate. Beautiful.
I did end up swapping
Okay,
stone
this is our
form
push.
B
This is our
gate.
push.
I should always swap stone form B gate. I don't know, like that's very risk reward B gate. I kept it because Leandro. But typically, like I did end up swapping stone form. Most competitive wars, if I'm B gate, I will 100% be rocking stone form as soon as point phase ends.
Big shock.
Making sure that we get the team in here is going to be very big. Skibby announces that he's in to the left, so I'm instantly looking to see how I can get my team in, who's in and who's not. I look, I see Leaf behind me, which instantly tells me that at the very least, half of my team is going to be outside because my healer is not going to be the first one in. So if 3 of us are outside, then 2 of us are inside. It's not going to do much.
Stuck mid gate, sneaking in left now. Skibby, get ready.
I recognize that part of my team is still stuck. I get in, I reunite with Skibby. The reason I choose to reunite with Skibby and I can literally dump a clump with 15 to 20,000 damage through mitigation if we time our shit right as 2 people. It is absurd amounts of damage. What we're going to do here, I recognize I can get through this path. This is what I saw. I saw it shaping up and I instantly took my charge as soon as it was there. I will find the exact path right here. I instantly see this, and I'm going to charge right through here to Skib.
Sneaking in left now.
I see Skibby while I'm charging. I charge.
Left now.
What I'm going to look at here, we have blues in the gate. I know that I don't have my healer right now. I know that I can't take a fight in dirt. I know that I can't take a fight in hell, even though hell is my role. I would love to go on these healers. If I do that, I don't have heals. We're going to wrap, and we're going to go dump on this clump that's already initiated with their backs turned because we have a free in there.
Skibby, get ready to dump. Get ready to dump gate. Dump gate. Now. 3, 2, 1. Big dumps.
Picking on Dusty.
And then we roll that instantly into a debt where we're going to control point with debt. That debt, not the best debt. I thought that I was going to do a lot more with it. Should have been more patient.
Left side one.
I'm moving left with you guys.
So what this did, before we tried to get in, this was the POV. We have 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 2 more up here, 14 minimum people at this gate.
I'm stuck mid gate, sneaking in left now.
Blue, very overwhelmed.
Skibby, get ready to dump. Get ready to dump gate. Dump
This grab is probably gonna catch
gate.
what?
No.
4, 5. Couple of them die instantly.
No. 3, 2, 1. Big dumps.
Picking on Dusty.
Everybody there is dead or gone now. Dead. 5 dead. Everyone else is off at this point. We've now pushed in.
Lap.
Screaming left side, left side.
At this point, we start looking for agency. We got a wall there from Milo. Very good wall. He told me that he was screaming left side, and then he walled so I could get through clean. If you're an IG and you love your bruisers, please wall for them. It gets us through. It gives us haste. It stops people chasing us so we don't get our booties hit.
Play hell, play hell.
Topside point.
At this point, we start to establish our push to hell.
They're gonna use Skibby.
So right now, hell, I immediately go to our spot of agency, which is back here. The reason that I prioritize getting back here first, healers also like to hang out back here. If you're a healer and you've seen me running at you at OPR, you probably know that you run away. Surprise, that's what every other healer does as well. So you run back here if you have the hell responsibility, you clear this out. Now you're either going to force healers onto the stage where they're extremely visible for not only your stage and respawn team, but also your Dex and kill squad. We actually didn't have a Dex this war, fun fact.
I'm dead.
Anyways,
Pathing through topside point. I'm at hell right.
perfect agency hell. I'm not looking to get into the fight right now and establish or get into the fight and just like dump and pad and keep going. What I'm looking for is the clumps forming up and us to efficiently dump. You see me look over here. I see this forming up.
Right now. I'm at hell right now.
We're instantly going to identify that people are dropping there from respawn. We've now got 8 people here.
Seconds on respawn.
Grabbing bottom stairs.
8 people in a grav.
Bottom stairs. Huge.
After everybody dodges out, 1 person's already died, 4 people left.
Yeah. I'm
Green,
lap.
give me.
2 more die, 3 dead. Everyone else is now scattered. Hell, all blue. Around point, all blue. Now, as Hell team, we've established that agency. If you're a dirt team pushing in from side gate, you recognize that agency. This is when we're going to get ready to spike.
Give me that. Oblivion,
I
top.
don't know where you're at. Skibby.
I retreat back to agency. I pre-pot. 0.2 seconds left on this. As soon as this is my cleanse, by the way. As soon as I recognize that this is almost off cooldown.
Oblivion, top.
Fortify. Regen.
I don't know where you're at.
Cleanse.
Skibby. I got you.
Running to agency. Hi, Doug. And then again, because of those pre-pots, we just turn. We recognize big clump here getting dumped.
Yo, we have fucking cannon. Or what do we have outside?
And that shit got absolutely destroyed.
What the fuck is
And again, we've cleared this out. Now we're going to recognize that because we've cleared this side out, this is going to be left side. Right side stairs is naturally going to be the spot that gets rotated on because they've just died left. They're going to fill away from where they're getting wiped and they're going to try to
We don't
rotate
need to
onto
worry
it.
about that.
Oblivion, hell.
Right now,
Dropping low.
I'm just soldiering.
Got it.
I let my healer know that I'm getting low,
Detonating.
so he's going to be
Diving
able to heal
topside
me.
point.
Again, not the best debt. Pretty
Nice.
stupid debt. It ended up getting a couple kills, but it's not a smart debt. Much better off
Gotta get
to
my
save
pre-pots up.
for an
Come on,
actual
get it.
clump.
Thank you.
Going out of the fight again to get pre-pots up, making sure pre-pots are up as frequently as they can be.
I'm with you guys.
Hell,
Finding sacreds, trying to play with my team.
Shit, good try.
Dying.
Respawn timer is 10 seconds.
When I died here, I didn't have shockwave, I didn't have grav, but the one thing that I did wrong was I panicked and I dodged through and I exposed my back to everything here. So everything was going to be critting me. The reason that I pushed so far
I'm with you guys. I'm with
is because I was the first one in and I went too far. As the first one in, instead of stopping at the point of agency where it ends and fighting on the edge of our agency,
you guys.
Hell.
I tried to push in
dropping.
too deep and I got collapsed on.
Dropping.
I got you.
And then I dodged forward instead of backwards like a dummy and exposed my back.
Shit, good try.
Very unnecessary death.
Respawn timer.
And it's not something that my healer could
What the
like get me
fuck?
through.
We don't talk about that. when
Don't
it's
mind
on
those.
Excuse me.
That's not part of this. Those
course, it's
cannons not part of this.
Sticking on that clump.
Can't get in.
So a lot of this right now is just gonna be like
front. Going in with you.
E-gate shit, trying to get in, reunite with your team.
Front, 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 front.
Again, if you're trying to reunite with your team, recognizing what you can do, what you can't do. If I had my heals and my other bruiser on me, we'd probably try to push through this and get back in and establish that agency. But I don't, so I just kind of have to scrap with the clump for a second. I'm also going to play my life. I'm going to play very fucking defensively here. Like, I could be much further up, but I'm playing super far back. This detonate should have been communicated more, but I saw an opportunity and just kind of sent it in. It ends up, again, because I didn't communicate it, not being a good det. That's pad. That's not a good habit to be in. It's great to see opportunities and get excited about the opportunities, but I reacted to it without even looking at my cooldowns. I didn't have grab, I didn't have shock, I didn't have mail. I charged into it, which means that I can't charge out of it. So all in all, that's probably my worst det this war by far. Any dets like that, whether they're inside point or outside of point, like your dets are very rarely to initiate fights. They need to be to finish fights and secure kills on the clumps. They should never be like the main focus of the combo, if that makes sense. So very stupid det, very bad det, would get me yelled at in like comp shit.
Yeah, I'm inside on B.
I'm recognizing that my team's not able to get in, so I had an opportunity where I could have snuck in right here.
Yeah, I'm inside on B.
And I kind of turned back. I'm trying to get my team in here. I'm recognizing that we don't have a lot of agency on this right side, but we're getting it on this back left side. So what we're going to do here, just shock. It doesn't need to be anything too crazy. We're going to get stacks up in mail. And the reason that we're doing that is just to try to create space, keep people on me.
Oh, fuck.
I almost get blown up. And this is why we save charge as much as we can. I'm very lucky that my charge just came off cooldown. I dodge roll out. Finding a clear path for your charge is something that I was going to talk with bruisers about specifically. After this roll, would be very easy for me to freak out and panic charge as soon as I roll. At the end of this roll, you can charge there. If I charge right here, guess who I hit? Gare, who's right in front of me. I then stop my charge and die. I'm at 4k HP. I'm LOSing the fuck out of my healer. I recognize that I have my pot. If I need it, I'm going to create a clear line for my charge. I need to clear this corner so I can actually see what I'm charging around and not waste my charge. This is a huge, huge, huge thing for people. You need to make sure that you have a clear path. The jump creates space. I get a clear path out.
I'm safe. I'm safe.
I get a lead. I'm in range. I'm in LOS. All is right with the world.
Bottom right. Bottom right. Can we...
More agency forming up left side, just so you guys are aware of what to look at. If you're fighting bottom right a point, off of your gate, or right side of your gate, or left side of your gate, the opposite is always going to be your safe spot.
Collapse bottom right with next combo.
Yes.
Okay. I'm waiting on my... I think I'm grabbing now. Bottom middle
100%.
point, grabbing now.
Okay, yeah, so I just tried to bite off more than I could chew here.
We were grabbing
I remember this
I just got blown
exactly.
up by something.
And I ate a death there.
I'm in deep. I'm up top. My bad.
So right here,
I've got a rebuy and then
because of me getting caught, my group now has a few people that are in and they're actually up top. So what I'm looking for here is if we are able to get in B, we're not right now. So they end up coming back.
grabbing gate. Gate.
They're overextended without a lot of momentum, so we're going to try to split them off here.
Oh,
I ate another death.
Front line.
Don't worry about
like
it.
a front line heavy. Then we'll meet up, okay? You shockwave back
So,
line, and then you're gonna grab.
After
whoever.
eating a second
You're
debt in a
just gonna
row,
disrupt the heal. We're gonna hit fat. We just keep zerging in. I'm just gonna play stone like a smart man and just front line for us because we don't have a front line. We don't have like a front line.
boom.
Want me to swap with you?
I
We double
recognize
stone, and then we're just gonna.
that I am dying a lot when I go into these initiates. Instead of saying, detonate, do damage, I'm going to keep detonating and go higher on the leaderboard. I switch to stone form. My second bruiser asks, do you want me to switch to stone form? I say yes. The follow-up of this is extremely, extremely important, though, because our playstyle changes with double stone versus double det. Double det, you want to stack up and just annihilate the clump no matter what's being healed on it, what's being dumped on it. Like, you don't care. You don't care if Jesus Christ is healing that clump. It's going to die with double det. The playstyle change.
We're gonna hit fat combos. So with double stone, when I'm going in for these initiates, you're gonna pop your stone form and you're gonna get into their backline and you're just gonna shockwave their backline for me. You're just gonna disrupt the healers and then we'll meet up, okay? You shockwave backline and then you're gonna grab where I am.
Alright.
This is what I talked about last week as the Jules combo. This is what Jules does so exceedingly well every time he is on B-Gate that I have warred against him, watched his VODs, everything. The Jules special is getting behind the front line, shocking the back line, and tossing your grav into the clump from behind. That's literally all you need to do to win a B fight for your entire army if you're a support bruiser. It is the biggest dick move that you can make because you sacrifice your own damage, you sacrifice your own pad, but you make the play that needs to be done, and it's the play that instantly wins the fight. Because if people aren't getting healed, they can't live. Simple math.
So we're going to play smart, and we're going to charge these up. If they...
Also, I mentioned earlier, I'm her bruiser was padding. Like, bro, if I look at any VODs and see a single one of you motherfuckers, especially that are in here right now, this far outside of gate, holy shit, I'm going to scream. I will literally, anytime you join a Discord call, I will join and just start screeching until you fucking leave the company. Because if you make this dumb, worthless, boneheaded fucking push, you shouldn't be warring.
So we're going to play smart, and we're going to charge these up. If
We've
they
said
follow
things
on her
nice, and
Bruiser, we're
people
gonna punish
sometimes
them,
don't
but they're not
grasp it,
suited
so
enough
I'll
to go
spell
all
it
the way.
out for you.
I have stone form now.
Okay.
Right now,
Big
momentum.
grab these up.
Momentum of their clump because of that. Half of them try to come out and save I'm her bruiser, probably their group. What happens is they are now overextended. They're then going to have to retreat back into fort when we pressure with our big respawn wave. What happens when you run away from a fight? You die because you can't do damage. As a bruiser, I'm reading the momentum. Right now, they're at the front of the gate. By the time I get to the front of the gate, they're at the back of the gate. What am I going to do? Whoops, I jumped in game. Wrong keyboard.
If they follow on her Bruiser out, we're going to punish this, but they're not stupid enough to go out with that.
Got stacks up.
I have stone form now.
Look at this collapse. Look at what just happened. I popped pre-pots. I ran into the gate. I have not used a single ability yet. I now have Mauler and Empower stacks.
Okay.
Look at that shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Big grab, bottom side.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 around point.
I got nades on it.
Look at the collapse from here, all of this clump
Got nades on it.
Wait, you
Shocking.
to here. They are now all spread. The entire B-Gate team can now play this entire Empower, all of these Sacreds. We won down 5 people.
I don't have anything.
getting in, getting in, getting in.
We're pushing
Leave
it.
that to me.
So I recognize here, I'm too far. Basically, I LOS'd my healer. What I mentioned earlier, as soon as you get around the corner, you're
Getting
fucked.
in, getting in.
Where am I? I'm around the corner. My healer's there. That's actually him. Look at him kind of posing there. That's beautiful. So I'm going to recognize I'm around this corner. I am completely and utterly ass the fuck out, and it's my fault if I continue. But what do I have up? My movement skill that I don't need to use for anything offensive in a fucking war. That we can just chill and keep secure and hold until we need it. Oh, this was just a merc one. We're merking with Ordo. But yeah, so again, making sure I have a clear line. Dodge jump out.
I don't have LOD.
Try. Yep, yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
got
right
And
side,
there I
right
don't
side,
even
right
need
side,
my
right
charge.
side.
But I have it if I need it. And that's the
We
important
can get in here
thing.
pretty easily. Play right side if we
Oblivion,
can.
right.
I'm trying to position myself in our spot of agency right now to get my team in. If I were to just go super far right and my team follows me, my team's going to get collapsed on and they're going to die. So what I'm doing here as the lead bruiser, I see where we're going to go, and I'm basically just hitting everything that moves that's on this arc and trying to clear
We can get in
clear
here
the way
pretty
for my
easily.
team.
Play right
Big
side.
scary
right,
bruiser,
In right
just
if we can.
swinging.
Watch right dirt. Watch
I'm on that.
collapse from right dirt. Collapse from right dirt.
If you are the supports in this instance, look at this positioning. Leaf, ready to bail me out. He's got his hammer out. He's ready to shock. Skibby, down here, he's doing a fucking karate pose, I guess. That's kind of lit. But he's ready to do whatever the fuck Blunderbuss does. But he's in a perfect position. He recognized that I was clearing out the top side, and he stuck with the safe side towards bottom here. As a healer, as a support, as anything squishy, that's going to be the route that you want to take.
Scream in right side.
Our healer is still in hallway, right?
Skibby recognizes that our healer's not in yet. I start popping off. Skibby calls out that the healer needs to get in. I immediately come back to establish.
I'm getting you in now if I can.
Yeah, I'm in.
Bruisers, you are nothing without your healer. If your healer is not in, you guys as a team need to tell each other. If you're a healer and you're not in, you need to say, I'm LOS, I'm not in, I need you to come back. Boyle did that very well. Skibby relayed it to me because I didn't respond. We went back, and look how easy he gets in. Look at that freedom.
I've got stone ready. Toes right side, toes right side, toes right side.
Right here, we have a shitload of agency point. They have a little group of healers back here, but if we can collapse this bottom left here, where their only front line is, then this entire stack is just free to go.
We're in right.
Okay. Hell.
Man, I don't know
I'm in two.
Man, I don't know where you're at though.
I'm inside, right side.
Okay,
Bottom stairs. Meet
So
up
we
bottom
pull
stairs.
off because of a respawn wave that comes in.
Topside point, full comp.
Yeah, Milo couldn't tell right from left, but he was doing his best. So what we're looking at here, another big fight shaping up hell.
It's there.
And I die. Go figure, because look where I am. I'm too far. I wasn't playing with my IGVG, who was here. I wasn't playing agency. And quite frankly, I have no fucking idea why I was here. I wanted to get hell, but I needed to recognize that, like, here, stairs, agency. Stairs and control, like, dirt and bottom of stairs and respawn. Great. Turning left there, where we only have a couple people, not the play.
Right side.
Okay,
Bottom stairs. Meet up bottom stairs.
Yeah, so Milo was saying right side, but he was over here. He got confused. And, yeah.
Topside point, full combo.
It's there.
Oh fuck, I just dropped before it went off. You're good.
So, yeah, just too
You're good.
far
15
there.
seconds. So much fucking time. So much. Now we still have so long until the re.
So at this point, basically, like, we're at the phase where it's kind of like midway through the war and you get the really scrappy fights. Like midway through what would be a full war, I should say. We're almost done this war. But you're basically getting a lot of the scrappy fights at this point. Your team's trying to control point agency. At this point, ideally, like, all horns have been down for a while. All shops are down, like repair shops. They can't buy anything. They can't repair shit, ideally.
I'm B-gate
And
right
we're
now.
really
B-gate,
just
we're
trying to
B-gate
control
hall.
these
B-gate hall.
points of agency
Yeah,
for the
me
army
side,
as a
right.
whole. And this is where it really comes down to, like, making sure everybody is playing their position. Like, it may seem like if you're the respawn team who's responsible for stage and, like, screening those respawns, that you're just getting fucking ganked early on in the war. Great. You're supposed to. Like, when they're respawning every 10 seconds, how the fuck are you going to deal with that shit? You're not. So you kill the respawns when you can, and then you try to get, like, shops and shit down early, and you don't really worry about it. That's part of what soldiering is. Like, it's really important to recognize that wars are not going to be won in the first 3 minutes, the first 10 minutes, the first 15 minutes, even if they're competitive wars. Like, they will be drawn out. A lot of comp wars will go to 20, 25, 30 minutes, like right on the dot. And a lot of those wars are decided by one big push, one big respawn wipe. Anything like that, people being in the right place at the right time, making sure that everybody is playing their individual role is huge. Like, my group went through an identity crisis a few wars ago where, like, we were getting stomped out, and we were like, well, what do we do? Like, do we go over here and try to do this? And we tried, and just nothing was working. And it was because while we were trying to go over and correct, like, what needed to be corrected, our role was no longer being played. So it was actually more detrimental to have us fixing that one thing and fucking the other thing. So just food for thought there. Like, you can't control 45 other people in the war. You need to do what your 5-man is assigned to do, and what you can do the best.
Oh, wait.
Boyle correcting Milo that he's left side instead of right side.
Right.
It's right side in Spanish. Sorry.
So we have an in left, but look at this shit. Our agency's getting pushed back. That's going to be 8 reds.
Get in.
Our agency is going to be right here.
In
What I'm
far
looking,
right.
though, when I'm looking, notice how every other crash so far, we've tried to establish point agency in hell. That's because we've had people in dirt.
In and far right. Crash Seagate. Crash
Power
Seagate.
right.
We're gonna go hard.
Right.
It's right side in Spanish. Sorry. Get in. In and far right.
Seagate's not in.
Crash Seagate.
Power
Seagate.
right.
We're gonna go hard right. Oak Flesh Dust Healer on me. We're gonna crash Seagate. We're gonna get Seagate in here. Okay. On me now.
With you,
Seagate.
with you. Shock on C
Weapon for you
gate.
guys, I know.
Blinders can die, dead.
Grab shock mail.
I got you, QB. I don't have you.
I got stunned from something. Yo, dummies. Detonating
10
dummies.
seconds. 10 seconds.
Safety
Oh wait, I
debt.
have stone form.
Except it was a stone form.
Popping stone form at dummies. Mansky. Dead.
So what we've done here is initially we went in and there was one group holding C. We've actually forced about 3 groups to rotate over at this point. So whether that's from B side, whether that's from A side across fort, like we're now making every other gate
no
weaker
heals,
as a
no heals.
result.
We play together.
Our healer goes down, and I recognize we don't have a healer, we don't have Skibby. I'm gonna group up and I'm gonna play any single green circle that I find on the map.
Play together, play out these secrets. I'm still seaside gate helping them scrap, getting them in.
At this point, my team is down healers, very important parts. I'm not leaving green circles. If I'm not getting healed, I'm going towards healers.
Blinders is 1. Blinders can die.
The only time I push up is when
Stay
other
me,
people are
Rainrow,
with.
Rainrow.
I see him. Flatting him.
Dead. All right, we're gonna work toast to point from here. Toast.
This entire time, look at Milo's position, IGVGs. Look at that beautiful position behind them where he can free cast. And the biggest thing, in my opinion, about his positioning here is that he is where the enemy is going to try to escape to. We have 6 people here. The enemy is not going to push through us to escape. Milo being there, he can scream here, and not only can he scream, but he can wall behind them. I'm sure you have all tried to get out of a fight at one point and just ran into an ice wall and got fucked because of it.
Some point from here.
That's what that opens up.
Live.
You see how
Food for thought with supports again.
Oak flesh dust.
Beautiful wall there from
Right, right,
Milo
bottom
catching
right,
the
bottom right,
healers.
bottom right. 2 healers caught, 2 healers.
And as a result,
Dump it.
huge healer grab where we just disrupt
Chase
3
towards hell,
healers.
chase towards hell,
All of
bottom
their
side, right
healers'
stairs, bottom
movement
side,
skills
right
are
stairs
down
near
now.
hell.
And they just get dumped.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell. Mid hell.
Shocking this.
I'm gonna pop stone form as soon as I get it.
Blinders, blinders.
From stairs, big from right stairs. Grabbing hell right now. We control hell.
We're grabbing this.
Got it. Stone form's popped. Pathing through towards point.
I can't get in.
So right now we've
you at?
established hell.
I'm in the right side.
Voyle said he's not able to get in. As soon as Voyle says he's not able to get in, I'm in hell right now. It's an aggressive spot. That's my group spot. Voile's not with us. I'm playing like he is right now. Voyle says he's not able to get in.
Got it.
Watch
Stone
where I
form's
go.
popped. Pathing through towards point.
I can't get in. I'm in now.
Where are you at? Do you need me?
I'm in the right side. I'm right.
Okay.
We collapse towards sacreds, towards points, towards
I'm
safety.
playing bottom right
Voyle
stairs,
says he's
bottom right
right.
stairs
We
towards
go
hell
right.
now. Filtering
Take it
response.
on left side point. Take it
Then
on
we
left
kill
side
him for
Left side
bruiser
point. Got
again.
it. Coming.
Yeah.
Coming left side.
On that clump.
Got it.
Clump that's there.
Bottom stairs.
Location comms. Location comms. Absolutely fucking massive. Healers, letting your lead bruiser know where your sacred is if you've cast it and they're not on it. Pings from healers and bruisers both on sacreds, on oblivions, on all of that. Anything that's on the ground should have a ping, should have communication. Everybody should know where everything and everyone is at all times. Absolute perfect communication from healers
Grabbing
there.
bottom stairs.
Ellie on you.
Oliviano, you dusty.
Beautiful. Great job, team. Stick on me. Toes on point. Everything we have.
So here, we're getting ready for a final point collapse. I actually just got on it too early and got a little ahead of myself.
No, not yet.
But
Yeah.
what we're looking for here is as we're getting this point to the 70+% with momentum, the defense goes, oh fuck, everybody on point, get on point. If you're on point like I was, you're dead. You get collapsed on by 50 people, you're not making it out of that. What we do at that point is we kind of like play soft around the edges. We let them come on to point, and then we just collapse it and spike it. And you're going to see that here.
Went down. 25.
Big collapse, big panic. You saw a fire staff fucking flame dash across. But what we're looking at,
Jump now.
Give me those.
this entire B side back arc is friendly.
20 seconds. 20-second response. Dump. We got this. GG.
Yeah. Jump now.
GG. Good shit, boys.
You swarm it because everybody's in their position and because everybody played that spot of agency.
So we do it.
You don't need to be in the middle
I
of
got
point to be
kills
getting
in the
point
fort,
tick.
bro.
You got
Skibby did not say he got keg kills in the fort. Nobody buy kegs in the fort. Don't. Skibby did not say that. But basically there, like, you saw a lot of good and a lot of bad. How do I stop sharing? But like, no VOD is going to be perfect, and I think that's the biggest thing to recognize. Like, picking up on both positives and negatives, but also not just looking at it from like, I did this well, I did this poorly, but looking at where you could have got agency more, looking at where you could have got your team in more, stuff like that. A lot of what we get out of it is specific team play shit. But the biggest thing that I took out of that was like playing your role when it comes to like the late game fort stuff. That's always my number one takeaway from these wars, because if one piece of that final push isn't working properly, like if my entire group was with me and we got collapsed on, we still probably win that, but it definitely helps a lot more to have 4 additional people up. I need to recognize that next time and play the point properly at the end. So shit like that. God, what did I want to touch on as the last thing? Oh man, hi. Basically, just like remembering at the end of the day, I started with this. No matter how good you are, no matter who you are, you're not going to win a war 1v50. You're not going to win a war 5v50. Especially as we look to get into more competitive wars against competitive companies. It's going to come down to everybody doing simple things perfectly. Like, we don't need heroes making huge plays. We don't need people going in and 1v50ing debts. Like, great, that's cool, it looks awesome. But like, what we need to focus on are the basics, the combos, the positioning, getting in properly. And honestly, this war had a lot of getting in. So that was hopefully like something that you guys picked up on a lot of, was trying to identify those paths, and where you're initiating in gate is going to open up those opportunities. Supports, make sure you're playing off those bruisers a lot. Bruisers, make sure you're screening and actually getting your team in instead of just running. Like, if you're not swinging, you lose 12% damage mitigation. You're not doing damage. You're not scary. So basic stuff. This week was a lot just about that, about playing around point, playing around fort. So I'm actually super happy that I got like some good footage of it. But next week we're going to go into a lot of specifics. We're actually going to go into each role of each group in a typical war plan for fort. And I'm going to show you where you need to be, what you need to be doing, how far you should go in fort, and all of those crashes and everything like that. So if you guys have any questions on any of this shit, as always, DM me, at me in Discord, like stream, whatever. Happy to help out. I'll get the VOD trimmed down and posted in Discord again, so you guys can like check this shit out. We actually had war footage to compare it to, so there's going to be like a lot of actual good like reference information in here for you too that you can visually see. So please, like, hit me with any questions, hit me with any thoughts that pop in, hit me with anything I was wrong about so I can fix it in the future. Other than that, we'll do this again next week, probably at 9 if I don't have another war then. And yeah, that's it for tonight. Don't fuck up going into fort, and especially don't fuck up on the defense side of fort, like whatchamacallit. Thanks everybody.